saying? So from that point, Chris gave me the idea. Chris was like, yo, why don't you teach people how to be vegan? I was like, what? He said, you ever consider teaching people? I was like, nah. Why would I teach them? He said, cuz bro, like he said, you know how many people want to go vegan? But you know how many people can't because they don't get the right information? It's like, he's like, the way you explain it, he's like, for one, nobody's doing it. For two, it's like, yo, it makes sense. You make it make sense. I was like, it has to make sense if you want it to stick. He was like, all right. He said, man, I think you should teach a class or something, teach something. I was like, all right, I'll think about it. But then I kind of put it to the back of my mind. So again, you know, I had already previously wrote one book called So Frail, The Reality of Black Man Masculinity, right? So I felt like, you know, it's time for me to write a second one, but then it was like, that's playing in the back of my mind. It's like, yo. And then I watched, like years ago, I watched this lecture with a brother by the name of Minister Inky. And he said something very, very profound to me. And which is also the reason why So Frail was written, but which is also the reason why, you know, I write what I write. Because he said, look, his dad told him, he said, if you can't find the book you're looking for, write it. I was like, damn, that's cold. So in this time frame, I'm like, you know what? Let me write a vegan book. And it made sense to me because I was like, you know, how many vegan books, like, I'm from that background. I'm from the medical background. I'm from the scientific background. So I was able to understand it. But the average person, I'm not going to say they can't understand it, but it's not readily ideal. Like, you shouldn't have to study what you're studying in order to learn it in real time. You know, granted, when you want to go deeper off, of course. But when you're trying to achieve something that's going to change your life for the rest of your life, you know what I'm saying? Not only do I have to learn this part, now I gotta learn this part to understand this part. You feel me? So I was like, how easy would it be to give people this in real time? Like in a real conversation. You know what I mean? And it went back to what Chris was saying. He was like, yo, he said, you showed me how to do this just by regularly talking to me. He's like, you didn't sit down and tell me like, you know, you gotta put this with it. Like, he said, yo, you just had regular conversation that came out organically and it worked. He said, yo, you should teach a class like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, all right, cool. But I didn't really have the time for all of that. So I was like, you know what? I'll write my book. So that's where Hitting It Raw came from. Hitting It Raw, living a raw plant-based lifestyle life. So a plot twist to that, what, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure a lot of people don't know because they just don't know. But they'll know now. So at the time of me writing that book, and actually mentally preparing myself for getting ready to teach a class, I said, you know what? I need to understand people before I can teach them. You know what I mean? And I say that because I was able to go cold turkey, so to speak. I just went. But that's because I had the information, but it was deeper than just having the information. You feel what I'm saying? It was so much more that went into it that I actually knew that I didn't know that I know. You feel what I'm saying? That would be considered one of my my unknown knowns. Something that I knew, I just had not figured it out. You feel me? So I was watching this, I was watching something, which led me to something else, which led me to read something. And then, at the end of the day, it brought me to this guy. I can't remember his name, but he was a personal trainer. And the guy said, you know what? He would always try to motivate his people. He would be like, yeah, you can do it. Just come to the gym, you gotta be motivated, you gotta do this. He was like, and then he would notice that some of his clients wouldn't come. Some people would drop off, they'll come and they wouldn't. He's like, what is it that, you know what I'm saying? So what he did was, he said, you know what? I'm not working out, I'm just gonna eat bullshit for this amount of time, and I'm gonna chill. You feel me? I'm not gonna do anything that a personal trainer should do. You feel what I'm saying? Fell all the way off. And he's like, when I tried to get it back, it was so hard. You feel me? He said there would be days that he would wake up and just say, you know what? I don't feel like doing it. I'm not going to. It was like the motivation he once had when he was a personal trainer. He said the reason why I took that for granted because I had done it and had been doing it for so long that it was automatic for me. And I didn't even think that, you know what I'm saying, everything was on autopilot. So it's like now you have people that are trying to overcome inertia. You feel me? So reading that, it was like, you know what? I should try that. I should try that concept.